I've seen that dick
Oh,
before.
that guy. Okay, I don't know who you
Yeah.
are about your penis.
Most of the people there were pretty harmless, though, right?
Oh, yeah, they're just,
More groupies
fine.
than stalkers.
Oh, yeah, they're like fanboys.
Do you miss working there?
Lusty Lady is my favorite job.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's a pretty awesome place.
I love it there.
When I first started the radio show, I
Um,
tried for a long time to get girls
from the
to
Lusty?
come onto the show and
Yeah,
talk
you should have
about
had like a group of girls from Lusty.
Nobody
have
would do.
a
They were.
little
Everyone was instructed
interview.
to stay away from me, not talk to me about anything.
People are stupid.
I don't know who was,
I don't like the whole scene thing where people are, oh, this person someone said this person's bad, so don't talk to them. And then it's like people could be missing out on making a fucking actual friend with someone, or
Right.
End up doing a cool art project or a music project or something. You could miss out on things like that by just oh, someone told me that person's bad, so I'm not going to talk to them.
Yeah, I generally never go off of word of mouth.
Well, it was
yeah.
during the time when they
A
were
lot of
trying
people
to
do.
sell it. They were trying.
The
The,
Lusty?
the girls were trying to sell the Lusty
yeah.
to, whoever, and they almost had a buyer. And then somebody said,
the Hustler Club expanded. Is what happened. I think the Hustler Club got it and
Well,
then
yeah,
expanded
finally.
it. Yeah.
but Big Red was trying to buy it, and Big Red.
Oh, from
He,
all the strip clubs,
Rick.
whatchamacallit.
no, Big Red works. He's one of the guys at
Oh, the Cat Club.
Bondage at Go-Go.
Yeah. I know who that is, yeah.
Okay, I don't know that much. I mean, I've had little chats with him about it
Okay.
here and there, and I know that he was bringing buyers in, and then somebody said, we can't let this person buy our club because they're gonna completely change the format, and so everybody voted to not sell it at the last minute, and
Yeah, I wasn't around the last.
yeah, this place needed
of
a
it.
new format. It needed it
Yeah.
desperately. I know.
Well, they were just trying to stick to their tradition of what they became known as.
I know.
and
Oh, being a
and-
co-op
Stuff,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can write a contract for that, and that's a binding contract. I think the big fallback was nobody really knew enough about business.
Yeah.
you know?
Like back in the day when I first started there, it was a lot of college girls that were they were all studying stuff
Exactly.
like that, and it was cool.
Exactly.
And they actually knew what they were doing, and then they left it to I don't know.
And then they graduated. It seemed like in the end, most of the girls that were there.
The Black Widows. Because they know business really well.
Nicole Rao, she,
Like,
you know,
And cover my other eye. I'm like,
so yeah, Nicole Rao was also trying to bring buyers in, and because someone didn't like her, they decided to not listen to her. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Too
know.
much
I like the
Drama at
old.
the
I like
end,
the
yeah.
old when it was it was a bunch of really cool college chicks that knew what they were doing. It's kind of cool. When I first started, that was a long time ago.
Dirty,
At your service.
what you got?
My connection to stalking is more around the generalized issue of privacy, and its privacy as connected to porn performance is falling away. We've entered an era, especially in the United States, where under the guise of the protection of children, the government has created a class of performers whose data is on file.
Yeah.
And it's increasingly difficult to have any amount of privacy or to have a career that moves in and out of porn and has the ability to leave the porn work in X place and move to another place.
Yes, that's true. That shit follows you.
It is,
Even
and
without
now-
the government, you know.
Now that we've entered the era of image recognition, facial recognition, it's rudimentary at this stage, but we're rapidly approaching a place where the people who, as a producer, I could previously say, hey, you're one of a zillion people who are kind of similar, look kind of similar on the interweb. Nobody's going to notice
on
you.
the interweb.
At this stage, I can't make promises to people about disappearing. I can't make promises to people about their privacy in future. So it's a race between our wrinkles and our facial recognition technology. Whether or not we become the old person who is unrecognizable from those pictures or from those videos before the facial recognition catches up with us. And privacy has disappeared, or all but disappeared from...
Do you think that the whole facial recognition technology is going to boost plastic surgery business?
I would hope
I
not.
would think it would, because if you used to be able to just, you want to change your identity, or you go through the protection witness program or witness protection program or whatever. You just go somewhere completely random and different and start all over with a new name, but your face is still your face.
That's
Yeah,
one
they're
direction.
gonna see
I would
it.
hope we go in a direction instead of removing some of the prohibitions and some of the fear around sexual display. How likely that is in our immediate
Yeah.
lifetime, hard to
That
say. But
everything that the
realistically-
government's doing, they're rolling. They're not. You can't stop that
But
machine.
you're quite correct that it is not just government. That it's social forces, it's our
It is.
biases against the display of pleasure, it's people's issues around consent and boundaries overall. It ain't just government. Very true.
And it can backfire on the system too.
Meaning,
That the people who are pulling the strings, well, they have faces too. And they do shit that they're not supposed to do too. So,
as we enter an era where more and more of our data is more and more available, hypocrisy becomes unmasked more easily, for sure.
yes, the good old boys club. They're all going to get found out eventually because
Oh,
the information.
they're already pretty well known. It's just not enough people know.
Yeah, but information technology is so prevalent now that, and hackers, the hacker community is fucking huge, and they're tight. So that's a formidable adversary right there for the government. Just that alone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes. So I have done some I like to do this thing with photography, and one of my favorite videos was a little 5-minute clip that Yoko Ono produced. I don't know if she made it, but she produced it, which means she put the money behind it. And it was basically just a guy stalking someone on the street in New York, just like following her with a camera, and then she kind of looks over and notices this guy following her, and she just kind of like ignores it and keeps walking, and he keeps following her, and she picks up her pace, and he picks up his pace, and she's like looking over her shoulder, and she starts running, and he starts running, and this whole video is just like him chasing her, and then she like turns and down streets and alleys, and she ends up at the end of a dead end alley, and the camera is just like coming in on her closer and closer, and then that's it. It just ends, and she's got this frightened look on her face. Stalker. I think that was the name of it. Stalker.
Yeah.
So, I like to do the same kind of thing in slideshow form, where I'll take stills, and kind of like looking at a storyboard,
Yeah.
where you just see the next action moment. I've always wanted to do something similar to that, but some of the things that I have done are just like usually they have death involved, a lot of blood, and the first one I did was just a little girl with little pigtails, wearing a little white lacy thing. She was a college student that looked very young, and her boyfriend, basically, he was great because he just laid on the floor like he was dead for the whole set. It's like his eye was just like staring in one direction the whole time. He's covered in blood, and she's just like playing with him, like using his blood for lipstick, and do color painting on his chest with blood. And it was just one of those. It was fun to make.
Yeah.
And I like doing those. I haven't done them for a long time, but I want to know more about your photography, your productions.
I like the butt massage
What do you
video.
do?
That was cool.
What do you got? What do you do?
By doing what I got.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny doing radio about visual porn.
Yeah. Well, first of all, give us a URL so that anyone who's listening can pull up pictures.
My URL has been down for a year and a half for reasons that are related to privacy and anonymity, but
Okay.
it's dirtysurface.com. It may come up again.
Dirtysurface.com.
.com.
Okay. Is there anywhere that anyone can find your work?
I'll be publishing and probably publishing under dirtysurface.com. I'm shifting more from video and from internet display to book format. People are saying
Okay.
the books are dead, but this
So,
is my goal for the next little
Are you
while.
primarily a photographer or a video producer?
I work as a writer, video producer, and a photographer.
Okay.
And try to mix and match as much as I can.
I guess collage? Or mixtures of stuff? Or is everything different?
Every project is different. I have a short attention span, so
Oh,
I do my very
beautiful.
best to keep it
That
moving.
makes for good art, doesn't it?
On good days, yeah.
ADD.
Big time. So current projects include something that's called Can You Taste My Girlfriend on These Boots? Which is a collection of 100 personal ads that I wrote from 2008 to 2014, each one of them illustrated.
Cool. Where did you post these personal ads? In newspapers or
Nope,
Craigslist?
they were all on an internet forum that will remain nameless because they are very litigious, and I don't need to use their name. But they were all online in the same forum, and I'm having fun combining old ads with new pictures and trying to see what kind of stories emerge from that.
Okay.
I'm working on a calendar that is a cautionary calendar of a dozen difficult dates. It is a compilation of a dozen very, very difficult dates, ranging from the moment where you discover that quiet little spot that you discovered to hump in is quiet because it's an anthill, to difficulties with not washing one's hands well enough between cutting red peppers and the hand job. That kind of thing. So difficult dates. Some of these are photographic with some text, some are text with some photographs.
Okay. Is it possible that we can look at some of the stuff that you have?
Absolutely.
Okay. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to try to get the laptop up here and see if we can match up the frame rates, and I hope it doesn't do that weird thing, but we'll figure it out. All right, so we'll be back in just a minute. All right, we're back from our break. And we were going to bring the laptop over so that Dirty could show us some stuff, but we decided since it doesn't make good radio to like look at video, because everybody looks at the pictures and then suddenly it's silent. And the audience is like...
It's just a quiet wanking
and
thwack
then-
in the background.
Yeah, then the audience just changes to another station. So
Yeah,
We're
or
just going to do-
verbally describe
Yeah,
like each picture.
we're just going to do that. We're going to talk about what it is that you do. You're going to tell us like what our listeners are going to see when they look for your stuff.
In the last 5 years or so, I've become more and more interested in the anonymity or our plausible deniability in video,
Okay.
and giving performers an opportunity to be things additional to the lawyers and social workers and parents that they are, and to move into porn performance part-time. So I'm doing a lot of work that is not facially focused.
Okay.
Historically, prior to that, I was doing a lot more work that was whole people, and the politics of whole people makes a lot of sense to me. But also the politics of anonymity and being able to be a porn performer and then walk away from that into other work
Yes.
has also become important. to
It
me.
sounds like it lends itself to a lot more creative licensing for
Yeah.
just doing better image production instead of like having to focus on somebody's face going, ooh, ah.
I'd do a shoot without showing my face. I know people could tell my tattoos and my body mods, and that would be cool because they just still know who
Well,
I
let's
am,
talk.
but they still don't see my face.
Let's talk.
Might be cool.
I'm sure there's a lot of models, would-be models.
It's
out there.
been interesting because in part it allows me to work with people outside of the mainstream of porn performance, and it allows me to work with my friends and my lovers, and to develop relationships over time rather than doing a kind of one-stop shoot, never see you again kind of thing.
Right.
So it means that I'm able to develop either photo-based or video-based work with people over time based on their fantasies, their interests, in ways that take some time to build up to something that's a whole lot more fun.
So why is it dirty? What's dirty about it?
It's been fun playing with the tag Dirty Surface, which initially came from Skin, Skin being pretty much the dirtiest surface we've got.
Okay.
I don't have any illusions that sex is inherently dirty or that there's anything particularly filthy or dirty about sex.
Well, when I first heard dirty, I thought it was like smudges on the lenses or like.
Oh, there's plenty of those.
A lot of.
There's plenty of those. The surface of my laptop screen is a mess.
Okay. I don't mean the lens. I mean the actual camera that's doing the filming is.
Have you seen my camera?
I have not.
I did a shoot once for squirt.org, which is a really strange name for a men's hookup site, but that's what it is. And it left me on my back with the camera pointed up into the middle of a men's circle jerk. And I remember screaming at the gentleman involved, "If you get one drop on this lens," and they didn't. But my camera has been through some stuff.
Okay.
But dirty is in the eye of the beholder, I think.
Okay. It is state of mind.
You're asking me to describe the work, or to
Just tell us what our listeners would see if they to be in front of a monitor looking at your work.
One of the projects that I'm most proud of recently is a reaction to having worked for 2 years on a feature-length sex store promotional video. That video never got completed due to features beyond or situations beyond my control. But I put 2 years of my life into something where I shot and directed and wrote and cast and edited a feature-length project for I think $14,000 or less.
Wow.
I was really proud of it. And
Feature.
it had 23 scenes, 19 performers, endless plot, endless dialogue, and I decided I was not going to do anything that complex again for a long time. Particularly not going to do anything for another producer for a long time.
Have you submitted it to Sundance?
That one, the producer submitted pieces of it, but in reaction to that monster, I decided that the next project I was going to do would have no dialogue, no story, no faces, and one location. And that's the thing that's playing on my laptop. It's called Generous Gesture. The subtitle is hour-long butt massage wallpaper. So it's video wallpaper in the same way that a goldfish bowl or a fireplace would be video wallpaper. It owes as much.
But it doesn't loop every 5 minutes.
It loops every hour. It's an hour-long video with no edits.
Wow.
And it's an hour-long butt massage.
How many butt massages on the screen at a time?
There are 10.
10.
I got
There are 10 simultaneous butts having a good time. And part of the project was being able to offer some measure of anonymity to the performers. Part of the project was about working against the capitalist focus of a lot of porn. So be able to do something where I was not paying or being paid, and where the performer, the massager, and the audience get to have this relatively anonymous, relatively cheap interaction with each other that protects everybody's identity but allows everybody to have a good time.
Okay, I have to be honest with you. I don't think I could watch an hour of 10 butt massages on
You don't
a
have
wall
to.
screen. I know I don't have to, but I'm trying to imagine
One of
like,
the strengths of
It's
video
kind
wall
of cool.
how
I
entertaining
watched
that would
it.
be
one of the strengths
for more than 5 minutes.
one of the strengths of video wallpaper is that one does not need to watch it as an hour long.
It just sits there.
Yeah.
The story is not going to change dramatically, or it is going to change constantly, but it's not going to change in ways that you're missing a massive amount.
Okay.
And if you're watching one of the 10 bottoms for 1 hour, you're missing 9 stories. So you can go back and watch the other 9 stories.
You call them stories.
I think pretty much every
Is there
interaction
a
is a story.
story? Is there a story? Or
Absolutely.
Is it just a
I
massage?
could
You
tell
might have to
there was
watch that and
different
figure it out
things
for yourself.
going on with each butt.
I'm sorry?
I could tell there was different things going on. Well, it was still a massage, but then like there would be like different ways and whatever, right?
So if I wanted to go and get a butt massage, I could like use this for like an interview process.
You're
Say,
welcome.
I like the way this guy does his butt massage. I want to go to him or her or whatever.
I'm sure you could use that as part of your pitch to somebody. Yes.
Just in theory.
Or
For sure.
Just an idea.
Since,
right?
since
sure.
my ass is shaped more like this ass, you know, these hands are about the right size. Take
I
that
could use
one.
a good butt massage, actually.
Who couldn't?
I got a
Really?
cramp in my left cheek.
Excellent. Yeah, I love a good butt massage, actually.
So that would be one of the projects I'm happiest about,
Or
in part
spanking.
because it was so simple.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it requires no audio, and it was a joy to produce. It was one of the most uncomplicated, straightforward, sweet things I got to be part of for a long, long time.
Cool.
Other works in progress are more book-based. So I was describing the calendar before,
Okay.
cautionary calendar of difficult dates. I'm also working on a faptionary.
A what?
Faptionary?
Faptionary?
You're familiar with the term to fap? It's,
I am not.
Fap. You've never heard of fapping?
No, what is faptionary?
Nah.
onomatopoeic, internet-based term for masturbation. Fap, 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 fap.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sound. I
Okay.
guess.
So the faptionary goes from asturbate to zipperbate. It illustrates each of these, and I'm hoping to have that finished within the year. That's the nature of my work mostly. It's a little bit giggly. It's a whole lot smutty. And I try to keep it as different from one project to the next as I possibly can to keep myself interested.
Sounds good.
So
Yeah,
far,
very creative.
So what was the first project that you did?
the first smut.
The first thing that, like, when you decided you want to do, like, this style of, or anything. I mean, did you start out in
In
commercial work,
1985, the newspapers in Canada where I was born were full of AIDS hysteria. And the first project I did was a response to some of that. It was a sexual health video by and for young people called Please Adjust Your Sex. That was about young people taking over a television station to broadcast safer sex information. And it was intercut between the takeover of the station and a whole lot of hardcore fucking. Protected hardcore fucking.
Sounds cool.
And that began a 6-year stretch of doing safer sex information video. And eventually I got really tired of telling people to wear a rubber dummy, wear a rubber dummy, wear a rubber dummy, wear a rubber dummy. It's not exciting information past a certain point. And as it turns out, the things that make people make decisions about safer sex are not all the kind of things that you can say in a video.
Right.
But that was my introduction to making safer sex. My introduction to making porn was safer sex health information work, and eventually I decided to focus on the fun part. And if there is a political or a health subtext that comes through the other work, that's great. But my focus these days is more on the entertainment.
We have someone who is kind of associated with the show who does what we call smart porn. And it's porn with education involved. You watch the porn, you're going to see some good porn, but you're also going to learn something.
But you learn something from all porn.
You will, learn something useful, like
Practical, yeah.
like practical, like how to
Like-
fix your bicycle that's broken. You're
Oh,
going to learn that
oh,
in
really?
this
Oh,
video,
stuff like that.
or the theory of
Or how to replace
relativity.
the bicycle seat with a dildo.
Well,
I thought it was more like
For
sex
instance.
education or
It's
something.
like
but-
combining
oh.
the show Cosmos with porn.
but this is
I'm in. Where do you get this? Where do you see
Dreamy
this?
Can I do it?
creamycoconut.org is the company, and
Creamycoconut.org.
she's making these videos, and she's
I will look for that for sure.
creamycoconut.org. Yeah,
That's cool.
Creamy.
yeah, we had her on a few
brilliant.
episodes ago. She was
And
it's very interesting.
What's the response to the educational porn so far?
Everybody loves it. Everybody thinks it's a great idea, and I think it's when she gets the right like the right handle on how to promote it and get it out there. I think she's going to do really well.
Oh, for sure.
And
I
plus,
mean,
I think she needs a little bit bigger body of work to be able to present instead of just like the few that she has now. But she's going in a good direction. She's getting a lot of good positive response. She's got an art show coming up at Wicked Grounds that is, I believe, stills of some of her productions.
Fantastic.
And that's going on from What's the date on that?
July, August, and September.
July, August, and September at Wicked Grounds on 8th and Folsom. Great cafe.
Yes, it is.
And you can go there, meet her. She'll be there for the opening, I'm sure. And I'm sure she'll be hanging out there quite a bit while her art is up.
I will look for that.
Yes.
Part of what drew me to porn was my sense that it has more educative potential than pretty much any other media.
Yes.
Because when you're watching porn, you are suspending disbelief. You have more investment in watching porn, in believing and understanding what's going on than in any other media.
Yeah.
There's a reward for believing what's going on screen. You get off.
Yeah.
So,
I
as
mean,
rewards to go
is
to
there
the
porn
porn.
out there that teaches you a foreign language? Because I think that would be a brilliant
Doesn't all
idea.
porn teach you a foreign language?
Right? Well, yeah, I mean,
Isn't sex a foreign
But-
language? No.
A porn,
But actually-
foreign language.
yeah, teaching, like, say, an English-speaking person, you know.
Well,
Do you
sure,
speak
when you watch-
Pornese?
When you watch German porn,
Yes,
you're picking
yes,
up
with
on the word.
subtitles. Yeah,
I don't think
but
that's the same.
It's
but
not the same as, like, you know, actual.
I have seen
using an application not just in sex, you know.
I've seen
Yeah.
several educational, instructional videos on how to do anal fisting properly, or how to, you know, how to eat
Combine
pussy
that.
properly,
Yeah.
and how to, you know, pay attention to the cues of your partner for whatever it is that you're doing, and you know.
Yeah.
So I've seen a few of those. I don't consider them educational porn. I think they're just educational sexual instruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between
Because it's
sexual
not intended to get you
instruction
off.
and-
It's intended to educate you.
Yeah.
But what Creamy Coconut is doing is both. And it's not
Very cool.
educating you in a sexual thing specifically,
Yeah.
educating you in something in the world. Like,
That's kinda cool.
like
how to change
Schoolhouse
the oil.
Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Cock.
You know, you got entertained and you can learn
think you should-
something.
Yeah.
What was that stuff?
I said schoolhouse cock.
Schoolhouse Cock.
Yeah.
There you go. That,
I'm
there's
not
one
sure-
for you, Creamy.
I'm not sure if that one's going to
Yeah,
get produced
no, I mean,
in
I-
America, but it needs to get produced.
Yeah.
Thought of a good
Have you ever
script.
done any porn?
Yeah.
Like live video stuff or production stuff?
I worked for Metro in LA. For Rob Rotten.
Oh, cool.
Punks Productions.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I did punk rock porn for a little while.
I worked in LA a long time ago, but only video, like live video stuff. And I tried making some porn, but
But
no,
not so much.
it's too difficult.
There are challenges.
My biggest challenge was finding a guy who could keep an erection in front of a camera. I went through more guys that were just like lined up to, you know, wanted to bang this smoking hot girl, and
But you gotta keep it up.
nobody could do it.
Yeah.
So
Less of a challenge in this era than it would have been 20 years ago,
Guys will get intimidated by
for sure.
how pretty she is or something, you know? And they'll get stage fright. I've seen that before.
It's more difficult for a dude to fake it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But we are now in an era where there are a zillion mechanical and chemical assets
Yes,
that
true.
dudes did not have 20 years ago.
That's true.
Which
But then you have your people like Peter North who can just fuck and then come on cue. They have just great, you know.
in his 50s.
Yes. We, you know, give him a 30-second window and he's like shooting that gigantic load. Now, by the way,
I bet
sounds like the voice
he
of a
takes
fan.
a lot of supplements
uh,
and works out a lot. Yeah.
it is soy lecithin, 4,000 milligrams, or 4,000 units, 4,000 milligrams of soy
You
lecithin.
heard it here, folks.
Lecithin?
Yeah, soy lecithin and lots of water, and that's his secret to shooting giant loads.
No, that makes sense. I wonder if it would work as well with sunflower lecithin.
Sound effects.
I don't know,
Because, I mean, at least that
like
one's
Yes.
not
Sound-
going to be
sound
GMO.
effects
Closer to the mic.
but we don't have a laugh track, but we should have one.
A laugh track, that would be so cheesy.
I know exactly.
We just need, like, you know, a live studio audience.
Yeah.
to-
Well, even if we had a live studio audience. What about a heckler? And a heckler.
What about
they
the heckler?
wouldn't know when to laugh
Who
unless
invited
you
them
have
anyway?
a laugh track. Anyway,
if it's funny enough, people know when to laugh.
not necessarily. So, Rotten Rob.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Rob Rotten? Yeah.
Rob Rotten.
I did it when it was cool.
Yeah.
Now it's not so
Is
cool.
he even in business anymore?
I don't think so. His website's down. I was trying to show someone
passes.
something, and I was like, oh, I guess his website's down.
Have you ever done a search
I did
for
a
your
cool
name
I
on
did a,
like PornTube or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I popped up. I'm doing B horror now, though, instead.
Okay.
How's that going?
And like weird cult underground movies. And that's a lot better for me. I like to show my boobs and then get killed. It's pretty cool.
That's always fun. What's the best way you've been killed?
I was in a movie that's coming out called Illuminati Puppet. And like a reptilian thing like came up and tore my throat open, and I had this blood pump like up my back with a tube, and it was like spraying blood, and my throat's like torn open and shit like that.
So
That was a good death. That was pretty
real
cool.
acting.
I was-
well, not
I
that
was
porn
like
isn't
a-
real, but
I was a heckler in that one. I was a like debutante, rich girl heckler chick at a book signing for a fucking main character person or something. Or
Cool.
interview for some writer. I don't know. But yeah. And then I did Dropping Like Flies with James Leon. Yeah, James Leon and Zania. Are you in that movie too? Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm Marlene in that movie. I play Marlene, a lesbian serial killer dominatrix.
sweet. Okay, dropping like flies. I gotta
Dropping
put
Like
that on my
Flies.
list.
We're having a
of,
party. Where is the party? Can you, do you
We're having a
know that?
party. Is there an
They're
open
having a-
party?
Yeah, they're having a party for the cast and crew members and the people. I don't know. And then
Oh.
there's an after party at his warehouse.
So this is a recently
really?
made
Yeah.
film.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we just put it out.
Yeah,
We're
James
putting it
did it.
out.
Okay.
It's coming out real soon. He knows the
let's see if
info
I can-
too.
No one
Well,
invited the
I'll have to-
heckler!
No hecklers
See if I-
allowed.
yeah.
And that's
I'll
why.
see if I can find some info on it.
Dropping like flies.
Dropping Like Flies. It's like a trippy. It's more of a trippy drug movie kind of thing.
Great.
It's kind of cool. It's very cool actually.
Why
like
wasn't I
being a part of
invited
it.
to be in this film?
He wrote that character specifically for me to play.
Oh, cool. That's kind of flattering, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And he's also working on another one that he wants me to be in too, as a main person.
I was cast for a major part in a film that never got made. I don't know why, but
It
it was
never
an
got put
interesting
out.
plot.
Oh, is it the fundraiser show and cast party?
Yeah.
That's
In
coming
Germany.
Out June, Friday the 13th.
June, Friday the 13th.
That sounds appropriate.
Friday
Okay.
the 13th.
Yeah, I found the
Sweet.
flyer on
That's
his
here.
page.
Okay.
Yeah, where's it in Oakland? At Eli's.
It's at, yeah, Eli's Mile
Eli's
High
Mile
Club.
High Club.
Hey, I think we should broadcast a show from there.
1629
What do you think?
Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Oakland. Yeah.
I think we need to get a
Doors
hold
at
of James
7,
and see if we can.
bands at
Yeah.
9,
Totally.
and
Do
it's
some radio.
$6
That'd be
before
cool.
9, $8
She's always down.
afterwards,
I
21 over.
had
Yeah.
I was on another one with my friend Evie, another
I've
radio
done James
show,
really
and we
well.
called him and did a radio phone interview with him about
Okay.
the movie before.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, he'd love
Yeah,
it.
that
Really
sounds
dope.
like
He was
it'd be a
talking
good-
about
a
dropping
good-
like flies.
Oh, yeah.
and
We could do
putting out
hours of like interviewing of people.
the
that
cast,
were
and
in-
there's
For
a
sure.
lot of the cast members
Yeah,
of
we
that
could
movie
dedicate
are
a
like
show to it. He would
really
love
well
that.
known people in
He's
our
really been-
scene.
Oh, sorry.
So really well known cool people in our scene. A lot of the people in the movie,
Okay.
like using it.
So June 13th. And where again? What's the location?
Eli.
No, it's
Eli's Mile
Oh,
High Club.
Eli's Mile High
Oh,
Club.
great. And that's in Oakland on
Yeah.
San Pablo?
No, it's
Martin Luther King.
3629 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Okay, so it's MLK and 28,
And
no,
it's-
30th, somewhere around there?
By
32nd?
in a ghost town.
Oh.
Ghost Town
area.
Galleries, which
Ghost
is.
town area.
Okay.
Yeah, doors are at 7. Bands start at 9. It's $6 before 9, $8 afterwards. 21
Okay.
and up.
It's gonna be cool.
Eli's is a good place.
Yeah. Should be fun, and there's an after party afterward.
Excellent.
Yeah, sounds great.
I know a lot of people that go to Eli's and people that work there. I haven't been there in a minute, so yeah.
Yeah, I like
Gotta
Eli's.
get back to that. Okay.
But yeah.
What else we got? What's in? We were supposed to bring up something. What's that? AB 15. We want to give another mention to the
What's the exact number?
AB 1576. Is that it?
I think so.
Okay, so that's a bill that if you don't know about it, I highly urge you to look into it. And if it's a bill that if it passes, it will push a lot of the adult film industry out of California.
It'll basically destroy
And
it.
so we're trying to get people to petition to stop this bill from going through. So please look it up. AB 1576.
Are any legislatures against it?
I don't know, but my personal feeling is, I think most of the judges are secret perverts anyway, and they're going to want to let it not. You know,
Yeah.
Well-
they're not
this
going to
is
want that shit to
bullshit.
pass.
But I mean, we
They
still
like
need
their
to,
porn like
everyone
everyone
needs
else.
to show, like, you know, that they're against it. You know, support for the industry.
Yeah, but a good judge
Because-
his job is to
in fact,
uphold the constitutional rights.
The people.
oh yeah, but I mean, it already passed in L.A., so they're trying to make it statewide. So
Yeah.
you know,
But
that's
really hurting LA a lot, so they might overturn that.
I would hope so.
So
But it, you know, in the meantime, it it caused a lot of problems.
I gather one of the concerns is that it's going to create an underground industry in which people have less say around
Less
their
safety.
sexual health. and
yeah, less safety,
less opportunity
Absolutely,
to.
yeah.
exactly, or push it out of state where people's.
Yeah.
You know, now Nevada's going to make an extra $1 billion
Safety standards
a
are
month
pretty
because-
stringent right now.
Yeah, they're higher than what's being recommended.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a ridiculous bill, and it's all because
Somebody's personal agenda.
somebody's not getting his dick sucked enough, and he wants to get rid of prostitution and pornography, and I don't know. He was abused as a Catholic boy, I guess. I don't know.
What do you think the other? What do you think the other reasons are for
Let's
pushing
stop.
this one through? Because my impression is
Make
that there's some
assumptions,
people who have some really personal vendettas against the self-regulation of porn.
I think it's all personal vendettas. I think they're people who, I could be completely wrong, but it's been my experience in life that the people who are fag bashers and sex crime committers and just like
Sex offenders.
sex offenders and the
Well,
ones that
sex
are
offender is a
well,
big
not-
category.
not-
That includes most of us.
Well,
Yeah.
By the current definitions,
repression, repression and abuse as a child. Okay, it's like spinach. If you force it on a child, he's not going to want it as an adult.
Yeah.
Whether it's anal
Fair
sex or
I was abused as a
just
child. and
anything that becomes an issue for a child, they grow
sex
up, they
is
don't let it
weird
go,
for me.
and then it becomes a thing for some of them. And they end up, some of them end up intentionally getting into a position of power just so they can fuck with that,
Yeah, just
But
for their own personal agenda.
their own personal agenda,
it's
and they're
for their
fucking
own-
with the institutional, constitutional rights of individuals to do.
around this specific bill and this specific issue,
I feel like-
there's-
Yes.
go on.
If people are just too backed up, they're not gonna, be. They're just gonna become more and more, They can't be free. I don't know. I always felt I was like, Lusty Lady's gonna close, and there's gonna be tons of guys show people their dicks out in San Francisco, because there's nowhere to go and fucking show a girl your dick anymore.
Yeah,
Don't you just want to show a hot girl your dick on the street? You can't,
yeah.
because Lusty Lady's not there.
I'm going to miss the luck.
That was a very valuable service that was offered.
I feel like sex work helps people, because they want to, if they're like, oh, I have a girlfriend that won't let me fuck her a certain way, then
I'm in the middle of a radio show.
Oh, really?
Yes, can you call me back later?
Yeah, bye.
You're the one
Thank
who answered
you.
the phone.
Daisy. She knows I'm doing a show. Why
Yeah.
did she call me? She was supposed to be here.
Oh,
But around this specific bill, my impression is that people have been pushing the agenda of trying to limit porn industry's capacity to regulate itself for a really long time.
Yes.
When you start to look at the records where people say testing is working, self-testing is working,
Right. And the way
that working has
it's written
been
very in
under
such a
attack for a long time.
it's written in such a vague form that if it passes, then that vagueness will give the state liberty to say, well, what this really means is, and then just go haywire with it.
I think
Oh,
they
it
should
becomes a
get.
complete
They should,
violation
if
of
they're going
everyone's
to take one
privacy.
away, then they should give the other. They should make prostitution legal then. If they're taking that
There you
away,
go.
then they should make prostitution legal.
I think prostitution should be legal.
I'm not big on the either or thing. How about both?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make it all, well, it's the, you know what they're really doing though? They're, by passing this bill, it's increasing the taboo factor and making a bigger demand for something that's already accessible. What are they going to do next?
Then what are they?
Say
what are
no
they
more
gonna
porn on
consider
the internet?
porn and not porn. What are they going to
The
consider?
internet, the internet
porn
was
and
built
not
on porn.
Yeah, that's what the
yeah,
internet's for.
That's what it was designed for. That's what's built. That's the backbone.
It was, yeah.
You know, I'm sure.
But the focus here is about the
Even before
idea
it had a
that
graphic interface.
there's a different set of rules for porn performers than there
Dude.
are for the rest of us. The idea is that if you're
8-bit.
displaying sex, you need to put a rubber on it. But in the rest
Well,
of your
but they
life,
don't
that
say
is
a
not
rubber.
expected.
They don't say put a rubber. They say, what is the actual word? I believe it's
Covered
no, it's
and uncovered, or
Protected? Barrier?
no, it's a protection. You have to. They just keep it really limited. It could mean goggles and gloves. You know.
oh yeah.
You know.
Which is its own fetish category.
But they're treating it
Goggle
like it's some
porn.
kind of a biohazard. Thing,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
everyone is a biohazard
and the
now.
standards, the
Aren't we?
standards that they're
Performers
requiring.
being tested every
God,
2
why
weeks,
someone
like,
have to
isn't
stop?
enough.
Right. And they also want every person, whether you're working for a company like kink.com or Vivid, or if you're working for yourself, you're just making your own
Yeah,
porn
you-
at home.
Different.
You
You could
still
be
have to be
doing it-
tested, even if you're making it at home with your own spouse.
Oh,
you still
yeah.
have to be tested, and
Yeah.
that information has to go on public record where the government has access to it.
Yeah, so it's a huge
it's a
violation of
safety
privacy
thing,
rights.
yeah.
Yeah.
Big
That's
violation,
that's
It's a safety.
yeah, that's one of the major issues with this bill. It's ridiculous.
So, find the bill, AB 1579, and please vote against it. Just take 5 minutes of your time. If you're watching this show, you probably have already received something in the mail, in the email or something. If you see it anywhere in a text message or in an email, please address it because
Yeah.
we need as many signatures on this petition as possible.
I'm a
Takes
Canadian.
2 minutes.
I don't get to vote on this one, but I really want to
You
push
can
for
still
peop-
advocate it.
and I am.
Wait,
in this
what's
context,
the
I really
other
want to
URL?
encourage
Behind
people to
Kink? Is that it?
go on.
Behind Kink, the URL that has.
Yes, go to Behind Kink at kink.com.
Behind King.
Behind Kink is one of the
Right. Is it Behind Kink?
one of the
website
one of the
that's-
We're
one of
looking
the
for a URL
stories,
that is about the
yeah.
bill around enforcing protection on porn performers.
Yeah, there's stuff at Behind King.
Yeah.
if you just Google AB 1576, you'll find it.
And it's also on the Fet.Talk Facebook page. There's stuff there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. So Fet.talk.org as in
Was it info?
find this thing.
Info, yeah.
Same thing.
Dot
They
info.
both go to the same.
Oh, okay.
You said you'd be interested in doing stuff on camera that was anonymous.
Yeah.
What's the appeal of that for you?
Just because the way I feel like I've changed, but I still want to be like, I still want to do those things because I also think it's fun. So it's like but it's also like I kind of do want to have a little bit of,
Some
not-
privacy.
yeah. But I know people will know me by my tattoos and my scarification and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's also kind of like people will know it's me, but then it's also like, oh, it's kind of different because I did a porn before for a website, and I forgot the name of the website. It was a long time ago, and it was lesbian porn, and they did like a series of masturbation, like solo masturbation ones, where they just videotape girls doing that, and so I did it. But it was all girls with headphones, or something, or blindfolded. I forgot what it was. But and I also felt a little scared to be like that, looking at the camera, and so like there was either it was headphones, and then I chose to be blindfolded, or the opposite way around, but I forgot what it was. And I totally, since like, blocked out that there were people there by doing that, and I did it, and then and they were like really happy with it. They're like, that's really cool, it was a good fucking shot and stuff. And I thought that was cool too, because it was like hiding my, because it's also for yourself too, you know.
Yeah.
But
I
also
can imagine. It's a good idea.
people enjoy seeing that you're.
Do we have any events coming up that we need to mention? Have you-
Radio Valencia event.
Oh, yeah, there's a fundraiser June 9th, right? 7th, yeah. The Saturday,
I was
yeah.
actually referring to the fetish world events.
Oh.
Anything coming up? We have
I mean-
Bondage A Go-Go's tomorrow night. I don't know what
Leather
the...
Strip's playing too.
Oh, yeah.
Leather Strip.
Leather Strip is playing tomorrow night at the Oba Room,
Yeah.
which they've never played in San Francisco, so that's where a lot of us will be.
Yeah. And then there's a thing at
Klaus
Submission
Larson.
before.
Yeah,
Submission,
early
I think.
90s dark wave, cold wave, industrial type music.
Okay. Christian Death hasn't played in...
Well, yeah,
Oh,
How
not
it's
many-
never going to
technically.
be the same,
Well,
you
not
know.
technically,
But
yeah.
it could be. Well, of course
We'll
it
bring him
won't
back
be.
from the dead, or
Yeah, well, you know.
or zombie.
Reanimated Christian
You
Death.
could take some
Reanimated.
video
Yeah.
footage
Frank
and make
and
holograms.
Roz.
You know.
That would be Christian Zombie.
Well, they did. Somebody did that with. What was it? Tupac. They did a Tupac
hologram.
That was
They did.
it.
Oh, yeah.
They did a Michael Jackson one. It was kind of scary.
Yeah.
What else did they do?
So-
They did someone
Yeah.
else, and I can't remember.
yeah, they own you even after death.
They
The
did.
fucking record labels.
So there could be a.
Oh, they were waiting for Michael
Sick
Jackson to die.
bastards.
They're
Ross
like,
Williams.
"Ooh,
Oh,
Michael
like they didn't
Jackson's
make it
gonna
happen.
die." Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah.
We have this technology.
Yeah, they do. They have syringes.
Yeah, we've
full of-
captured enough for you. Like, yeah,
We just need the hackers.
No more hackers.
like online sales are down. Let's take
I
this
hear
one
you.
out.
Over it. Hacking in my.
But still, even if they, even without Roz, it would be a good show. They would sell.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure.
I mean, hopefully better than Sisters of Mercies, where
Did you cover
they're
the stuff you wanted to cover?
they're all still alive, but it's
Kind of.
just a bunch of fog up on stage.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for
Great to meet you.
coming to the show. Steph, really good to see you.
Yep.
I hope we can have you back again now that you're in town.
Yeah, I'll be back. But
Hey, can we get, thanks for joining us. Can we get a little, from each of you, a little bumper for us, just saying, hey, this is blah, 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 blah. And
Say
you're
your
listening
name
to
and that
Fet
you're
Talk.
listening
Just
to
whatever you want to
Fet
say,
Talk.
and you're listening to Fet.Talk Radio. Something like that, would you mind?
Go for it.
me?
All right,
You guys.
I'll start. My name is Joel, and you're listening to Fet.Talk Radio. Thanks for listening.
Me?
Sure. Just say your name. Everybody
Say whatever
knows
you
you.
want. Say whatever you want.
Hi, I'm Steffi Slaughter, and you're listening to Fet.Talk Radio.
Come on.
I fucking. Fet.Talk Radio. Ah.
Hello, this is Dirty Surface, and thank you ever so much for turning in to Fet Talk Radio.
Perfect. Want to do a quick shout out to Armory Club?
To the Armory Club. We are in the basement every Tuesday at the Armory Club at 14th and Mission, which is across the street from the Armory, which is home of kink.com and Kink Live. Kink Live, great place to go watch your favorite online kinky girls, and they're really good there. They talk to you. They're really happy, friendly girls, and dirty, nasty.
Boys too.
Boys too. Yes.
Yay.
And some couples as well. So, yes. We're here for happy hour at the Armory Club. A great place to visit if you haven't been here.
Get a Paradox. We're good.
Paradox.
Paradox is good.
Yeah, great signature drinks.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, great happy hour specials. Great beers on tap. Great staff.
All right.
And thank you for the whiskey.
And what?
Thank you for the whiskey.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. All right. Good night.